Hey everybody, this is Lisa, the purple-haired mom, and welcome back to Small Business Sundays. I know we took a week off. Last Sunday, I was preparing for the holidays, and then Thursday, obviously it was Christmas Eve, so I didn't do my normal Thursday broadcast either, but we're back on track. It's after the holidays. What is this little piece of hair doing? Pardon this little wild thing happening here. But we've got a lot to talk about, so let's do the intro and we'll get right back into it because, like I said, we have a lot to discuss. Hey guys, thanks for staying tuned through the intro. So if you see, if you're on YouTube live, welcome. If you're watching the replay, thank you for watching the replay. You're also watching this live on my Twitter feed and also on my Purple Haired Mom Facebook page. So thank you everybody for joining me. Today, as you can see, I'm not sure if you can see the description of this video, but we are talking about everything, literally. So unemployment, the Small Business Administration, the payment protection plans, and the up in the air unknown of what's going on with this bill that is literally everybody is hanging at the edge of their seats waiting to see what's going to happen with this. Since today's Sunday, I'm not coming to you from my desk today. I decided to kind of makeshift a little thing here on my bed because it's Sunday. I want to be comfortable. It's Sunday right after the holidays. So let's get this started. So December 26th saw the end of the pandemic unemployment. It basically came to an end. So if you had, a lot of people ended on the 12th. And I just got, thank you for that. Sorry about that. Some people ended on the 12th. And basically what happens with that, I'm going to put my do not disturb on real quick. As soon as I figure out how. But basically a lot of people ended their stuff on the 12th if you had less than, I believe it was 7 or less weeks left of unemployment. So everything ended for them on the 12th. If you had more than 7 weeks of unemployment, then it ended the 26th. The problem with that is that everybody kind of thought that there was going to be a new bill already processed, which technically there was. But then we ended up in no man's land. So what happened? Okay, so this is what happened. The Congress went ahead and approved the bill, which would have given the $600 stimulus and would have given all of the aid as far as the aid for small businesses, another round of payment protection plan. It would have funded more for EIDL loans, even though we're going to discuss those in just a minute because those are a load of crap right now. And would have also put in a bunch of protections for rental, put the moratorium in for another 30 days, but also would have added in some rental assistance, which is desperately needed. Because the moratorium, as good as that was, you know, for people to not lose their homes, they still have balances that are accruing against them, which if they can't pay it, it does nothing. And then we've got a lot of people that are sitting in unemployment hell right now. You have people that applied back in March, April, May, June, and they've been getting their weekly payments, but their weekly payments were only, in Ohio, I don't know about anything else, but in Ohio, weekly pandemic unemployment payments were only $189 a week. That's not going to pay anything. But a lot of people asked for back pay because, as I've stated in, I believe I can't remember if it was on another video or if it was on my podcast, but with Ohio, you could only backdate yourself a week, or 2 weeks. It would only backdate automatically 2 weeks. If you wanted to backdate any more than that, or you needed to backdate any more than that, you had to send in this email, and it was a whole process Ohio does not have their shit together. They don't. And it ended up being this whole mess of emails and unanswered emails and sitting on the phone with employees of the unemployment office or Ohio Job and Family Services, who basically will tell you it is not my job to listen to people complain about their claim. It actually is. And that's what you're there for. And they don't want to help. So you have a whole bunch of people who are in limbo, who couldn't pay their bills because they haven't gotten paid. You know, they are owed this money and they haven't gotten paid. The other thing is that with the unemployment bill, with the actual plan in the bill, that people would have gotten $300 extra a week to help out, because like I said, $189 a week is not really doing anything. So this bill right now is up in the air because Donald Trump refused to sign it, because now all of a sudden it's, well, $2,000 is needed for a stimulus. Okay, so that's all well and good, but to halt the bill based off of one article of it, I know that there's a whole bunch of people in a rampage about this stuff going to foreign countries, but they do also need to realize that this whole thing was not the COVID bill. This was the COVID bill wrapped up with the foreign spending bill and everything else. They had three or four different bills wrapped up into one package and then said, here. It was 5,000 pages, okay? I guarantee you nobody read those 5,000 pages. I can 100% guarantee nobody read them, because that's a lot of reading. I know people that won't read a 500-page book. So you're telling me that they did this? They did not. So what they should have done, and this is my opinion, is they should have moved forward with the actual aid, the small business aid, the rental aid, the moratoriums, the payment protection plans, the, you know, all of the things that were aligned there, the unemployment, moved forward with that. And then once you've moved forward with that, argue about the stimulus later. Argue about the stimulus later. Because right now, as of the January 1st, you're going to have millions of people that are facing homelessness. You already have millions of people whose unemployment ended, which means they are now making $0. And for those of you out there who want to yell, just go get a job, you obviously have no freaking clue. Okay? It is not that simple. I'll give you an example. My issue, like my entire situation is, it's really screwed, because I have a career. I don't have a job. I have had a career for 10 years. I have a trade that I have been doing for 10 years, which means I have a lot of experience. Plus, before that, I was in another area of expertise for about 15 years before that. Pardon me, coffee break. But for people to say just get a job, it's really, really, really rude for a couple of reasons. Number one, you don't know anybody's situation. You can't tell people to just go get a job, especially because a lot of people who are in my situation, we've actually tried. You want to know what we've been told? When we send our resumes in, we're told that we're overqualified, but thanks for participating. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for sending us your resume, but you're a little overqualified. Basically, that's saying they don't want to pay our worth. They don't have the ability to. They're not even going to speak on it any further. The other thing is a lot of people have kids that are doing virtual school. Yes, they're on break right now, but break is only going to last until January. Then they go back to school. And a lot of places are doing extended break. My kids just found out that they are doing extended, like an extension of virtual. So their first, when we thought they were going to be going back to school, they're actually not going back to school. They're going to be doing virtual until they tell us that they're not, which means, and one of my kids has actually gone back and forth doing virtual and home several times this year. So how am I supposed to get a job, any job, when that is what's going on? So I rely on my employment that I have because it gives me the flexibility. But unfortunately, being an event planner, that means that I am the epitome of what can't happen, okay? So right now, unemployment is up in the air and there's a lot of people suffering because of it. And it really sucks that, you know, and I've heard people go, oh, it's Trump's fault. Oh, it's his fault. Look, every single person who is working in Washington, D.C. right now, unless they are an intern, they have no clue. These are people that have 3 or 4 different houses. They make 6 to 7 figure incomes or more, depending on their businesses. They have no clue what we're going through. We are a burden to them. We are to help us is to take away money from what they would put forth their personal projects. Therefore, they're going to try to give us the minimal amount and basically throw us crumbs and tell us that we should be satisfied with that. It's all of Washington, D.C. The government is just not, they don't care, because most of them there, they have no clue. They've never been in our situation. They've never had to struggle. So they don't know what the word means. So that's why we are in this situation, because they don't understand what the big deal is. They really don't. They have been paid this whole time. You know, they didn't have to worry about mortgage or rent or anything like that. Like I said, they lose one house, they got 3 more, you know? They don't understand. So what else is going on? Well, we're looking for another round of payment protection and another round of EIDL loans. But let's talk about EIDL loans for a minute, shall we? Because there's a whole bunch of people that have not gotten anywhere from the first round. I am one of them. Let's discuss, shall we? So I put in my EIDL loan application back in May. Okay, May. So that's May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. That's 8 months ago. 8. I have gone through hell and back with these people. At first, they had sent my money out and they said it was returned. When I talked to my bank, they stated, oh, well, we didn't know that that was real. And instead of discussing it with me, they just rejected it instead of asking me about it. So normally what you would do is you would submit a change of route for your bank. So you would submit your banking information. They would go ahead and reroute it and they would send it back out. In normal circumstances, what they did this time around was basically they had everything on hold and they wanted everything from you. They wanted your tax returns. They wanted this, they wanted this, they wanted this, they wanted this, which is fine, because any legitimate business will be able to hand over their tax forms. They wanted you to sign a 4506T, which basically is getting your transcripts from the taxes that you've already sent them. No clue why they want both. But I did that. They wanted a schedule of liabilities. Did that. Sent them my ID. Sent them a thing from my bank. I sent them a letter from my bank stating that they are more than willing to accept the loan. All of this, okay? So I missed out on the advance because of the way the bank was. Then they denied me, stating they suspected me of fraud. But when I asked what was fraudulent, they told me they didn't have to tell me. So no answer there. I threw a fit by email, and finally they reopened my my loan and told me that I needed to send in that schedule of liabilities, which I did. Then all of a sudden I get another denial and tells me that I will get some sort of explanation by email. Guess what never showed up? Any explanation by email. So I was denied again with no explanation, and now I'm throwing a fit again by email and Monday I'm calling them. So tomorrow, first thing in the morning, they're going to hear my mouth, because this is what a lot of people are going through. I don't understand how all of these scam artists and how all of these fake people got all of this money, but real businesses can't get a dime. It doesn't make any sense. We were starting to have like these, theories on, did they run out of money and they just don't want to tell us? And I've also noticed a lot of people that are having issues are minority business owners, women business owners. This is not okay, especially when the head of the SBA is a woman of color. It's ridiculous. They don't seem to think there's anything wrong with it. They have all these people that they hired in because of all of the EIDL loans that were coming through. Most of them do not normally work for the SBA. They work for other places like Quicken Loans and Rocket Loans and those places. They have no clue how the SBA works. So they're giving people a lot of really, really useless and really, really bad information. So basically, you're screwed if you get somebody on the phone and they don't work for the SBA. The only way to know that they work for the SBA is they will give you an identification number. Once they pick up the phone, they'll say, this is so-and-so, Jane Smith, you're speaking with Jane Smith, ID number or agent number, blah, blah, blah. Then you know you're speaking with somebody from the SBA. The problem is, when this happened, when the EIDL loans came out, I don't know if anybody's ever heard of EIDL loans before, but EIDL loans were originally made for places that were in dire straits, like a big thing that happened during Hurricane Katrina. That was probably the last biggest area that EIDL loans dealt with, because you had a couple of different states that were involved and you had several businesses that were out. But this time around, you had an entire nation that was out, and for an indefinite amount of time. So the SBA basically dropped the ball. They didn't know what to do. They hurried up, they were told, okay, so we're gonna give out these loans to people. They shortened the application process, which opened the door to all of this fraud. Okay, they shortened the application process. They hit people's credit. If you had below a certain credit score, then they weren't going to allow you to continue. I do know that is not the reason why I was declined, because my credit was pulled back in May and was fine. Like I said, I have not gotten any type of communication, nothing as to why I was declined again. The first time they told me that it was because they suspected fraud, which like I said, when I asked what fraud I supposedly committed, they couldn't tell me. The guy basically told me, I don't have to tell you anything. Well, number one, I went back and looked at the bylaws, and technically he wasn't supposed to say that to me at all. He's not supposed to tell me, oh, well, you're suspected of fraud. You don't do that, especially when you're a loan officer. So we've got all of these idle loans that are being mishandled. But this is not new. The SBA has been a load of crap for a lot of years. They do more damage to small businesses than they really help. They require a lot of hoops to jump through for small businesses to get any help from them. And then once you do get help, then they're pretty much done with you. If you have any questions, then you're pretty much just out of luck. The biggest thing that also has happened with these idle loans is that local SBA offices, so your offices that are located here in your cities, so like for me, it would be the Cincinnati office, any type of power, any type of knowledge, or any type of anything was taken away from them. So if I call my office here, they can't help me because they can't see into the disaster loan system. There's I believe one or two people that work in Cincinnati that actually helped them out for a while. So they're familiar with the system and they still have people that they can call. But as far as them personally being able to help, they don't have the capabilities because the federal level took all of that away from the local levels, which they never should have done. That would have given them so much more support, because the people that are in the local offices are going to have more of a personal relationship with the people that are in their city. They're going to be able to help people a little bit more, but they didn't want them to have that. They wanted to keep all the control in the federal area of the disaster loans, which basically led everything to fall apart. So people that are really, really needing this help aren't getting the help, and they're not getting any explanation as to why they're not getting help. Don't give us this, receive a denial letter by email when you have no intentions of sending a denial letter by email. There's no explanation. So we're going to find out tomorrow when I call, find out exactly what kind of games they're playing, because I'm over it. I've been in business for a while. I've owned my own business for almost 10 years now. And it's ridiculous the way that they're treating us. They're basically, all this money went to big corporations. The whole first round of the payment protection program went to big businesses. You have people like Joel Osteen, who ended up with millions of dollars in payment protection, bought a Ferrari. That's not what that's for. You had Tom Brady, a quarterback for a football team, got a couple $100,000 in payment protection. What? Are you serious? But we as small businesses can't get what we're supposed to be able to get, because all of these people who make millions of dollars on the low can just get whatever they need. This is the problem. This is where we're at. So while we want to celebrate the end of 2020 because we're ready for this stupid year to be over and we're ready to start anew in 2021, we're still stuck with all of the bullshit that is kind of lingering here. We have a lot of people that are basically just hoping for some kind of miracle before the 1st of January. Like I said, unemployment already ended. For some people, it ended on the 12th. Most people, it ended on the 26th. So the day after Christmas, you get told, yep, no more payments, sorry. So you've got that. Plus, you've got no new bill right now. Trump is out golfing, really fighting for us right now, isn't he? He's out golfing. Congress is doing God knows what. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. They have money to blow. They have not a care in the world. We're the ones that are sitting around wondering where our next meal's coming from, how our light bill's going to get paid, how our rent's going to get paid. Are we ever going to be able to do our jobs again? When are things going to get back to normal? That's all we want. And they're out busy spending their money because they've got it to spend. So that's kind of where we're at. So hopefully within the next couple of days, we'll hear something positive come out of our capital and hear something good to happen, that will be happening for the American people. But as of right now, unfortunately, everything is up in the air. If you are owed back pay, okay, and especially for people in Ohio, if you are owed back pay, you need to contact your local representative. And before you say, well, you just say that they were all useless, a lot of them are. But our local representatives, a lot of them are going to be coming up for re-election. They want our votes. Not only that, but they don't want to hear us bitch and complain. So if we're calling them and we're bitching and complaining to them and we're emailing them and we're driving them crazy, guess what? They might just get up off their butts and push some buttons, get people moving. So if you're owed back pay, do what you need to do. Make your phone calls, don't email anymore. If you keep emailing the same technical support email, you're going to set things back, because then it's just that email, use it once and that's it. Other than that, call. Send your representatives emails, send your representatives phone calls, get in touch with your aides. Do this because it's the only way that you're going to be able to really kind of force their hand, is to get in their face, become obnoxious. That's what you got to do. All right, guys, so this has been our Small Business Sunday. I wish it was on a more positive note, but hopefully we'll hear something soon and be able to get back to life as we know it. So until Thursday, which we will be back on Thursday for our normal broadcast, I will see you guys then. Thanks for joining me. And if you get a chance, if you hear this on the replay or get a chance to visit my social media, feel free to find me on any of my social media if you have any questions. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.